Hello and welcome back. Sean here, Mountains Garage. Today I'm Rich from a transmission shop, Monroe Transmission, wherever that is. If you know, let me know. It's a beautiful Tuesday afternoon, just nudging 60 degrees. The sun's behind the clouds, but it's gonna come back out and stay out for about a week. I think it'll go down at nighttime, but you know what I mean. It's going to be a beautiful stretch of weather coming up. I just stripped this, technically a TH475. Belongs to a friend of mine. I built it for him a few years ago. 3, 4, time flies. And I believe he had some kind of driveline explosion. And then I think he blew the motor as well. At a later date, that's when he realized the bell housing was broken. So I need to put all the parts in a different case. It's really nice to see, I built him a really nice transmission and it still looks like new inside, so that's a good thing. I got a request this morning. I get video requests, which is always good. If somebody hands you an idea for, some things to talk about, I'm okay with that. So don't hold back. The question was, what is that thing? I hope I'm pointing in the right direction, but the lift arm that's seemingly on my lift in the last bay down. Maybe it's more like here. It's hard to tell from my angle. But yes, way back when I had just finished building the shop, I had actually stood that lift up. I bought it and I stood it up right in the way before I insulated and put up the particle board, painted it white. It was in the way for about 6 months. But I was excited. The first lift I ever owned. It's America's Pride was the brand. I haven't looked. They're out of Massachusetts, if they're even still open. It is, if you shop for lifts or know about lifts, there's a big, I wouldn't call it a controversy, but some lifts are certified and some lifts aren't. That's a non-certified lift. The forward lift in the next bay closer is a certified lift. They're both 10,000 pound rated. The AmPro in the far bay physically is bigger. Both lifts are nice. The forward lift, the certified lift, is listed China as its country of origin, and I probably believe the America's Pride or AmPro is as well. When I was building the shop, I actually had an I-beam that I was going to put across just behind me up on the ceiling. I believe we even put extra 2x6s in the wall. But for whatever reason, I didn't do it. I have wished many times I had, but I didn't do it. So, such is life. At the time when I moved into the shop, all I had to lift anything was my engine crane. Not the one I currently have, but another one I'd picked up for $50 at a yard sale. And with that, I was able to lift a lot of stuff. However, now that I had the lift and a lot of projects, my goal was, and we'll go on walkabout and take a look at it, but I wanted something non-hydraulic to hold, for instance, an engine dead center, so when you swing that around, the lifting hook on the very end of it, not the trolley, is dead center on the lift if you have the car centered pretty well. And you hang an engine block off there and that is not going to move, drift down like hydraulics will eventually. And you can build the mounts from underneath the car, because like the position the 55 Chevy's in right now, I swung an engine block in there and had it held up the whole time I was making the motor mounts. Wicked handy. I will show you how I reinforced the lift, and my disclaimer is, don't do this. It's not certainly advisable. If it had to pass any sort of certification, it wouldn't. You're probably not allowed to modify it at all. But in this case, non-certified lift in my own shop, I did what I wanted to do. And it works fantastic. I have stressed it more than I probably should have. The heaviest thing I've lifted, I believe, was a short block on a 24 valve Cummins that I was building. Wasn't a complete engine, but that was probably, it didn't really seem to bother it. Didn't hurt anything, but in my own mind, I'm thinking that's probably not smart. I several times used it to lift the big block Chevy out of my race car, complete. It was a cast iron block, aluminum heads, tunnel ram, fully dressed, oil, everything in it. So, that's pretty heavy, but most of the time it's really handy for lifting things I'm welding or working on. Small block Chevy doesn't even phase it any, so if I need to put one of those on a stand, a bare block or even a completed engine, it's in kind of the alleyway where it hangs over. It's pretty slick. I use it quite a bit. But let's go on walkabout, as they say, and see what options I have these days for lifting things. I picked this up a few years ago, mounted right on my big bench, and it is slick. Like last week I used it twice. I had a rear axle here. I completed it, picked it up, swung it all the way around, and put it on my rolling stand over there. So this is my best friend. I recently picked one up that attaches to my trailer or any receiver hitch. So pretty slick and not expensive. This was less than $200 used, only slightly used as well. For the longest time, my gantry crane was buried and I couldn't use it. Then I got the bright idea just to put it here in the doorway. I could raise it up more, but I don't use the height of my doors. If I was to buy doors again, I would go 2 feet wider and 2 feet shorter. But at the time, this seemed like the thing to do. So I only recently put the second chain fall, the black one you see over there. I had the trolleys already installed, and I had this orange old Harbor Freight chain fall, and then I found another cheapie on Amazon, I think, and just stuck it up there. Works pretty slick. I just hide the chains out of the way, hook them over here, and I use it all the time now. My Harbor Freight engine crane that's now air powered. If you watched, I put a jack and bolt down there so you can easily fold the legs. I keep a few slings and stuff hanging on the back of it, and it does a great job once I get used to it, because I was used to my other engine crane. Took me a while to warm up to this one, but now we get along just fine. But the real reason we're here talking is this contraption. I built it. It was nothing but a couple pieces of flat bar this way, a couple round things, a couple more round things. If you can see, let me see if I can zoom in. Am I smart enough to do this? Yes, I am. There we go. And the upper round thing, if you will, has a support bar on it. This is the extra hook I was telling you about. I can move the chain fall out here, and that puts it dead center. I'll just keep walking with you, I guess. So when you want to mount things in the car, you can hang it this height and work away underneath. As far as the lift goes, I put that black piece right there on. I need to do a second one underneath, because I would hate to, I'd be crimping it on this side if I overstressed the arm. So this is not something you'd want in general population for people that, couldn't figure out what's too much. And like I said, I'm not saying this is a good idea, but I'm telling you it works really nice because it'll swivel and allow me to mock stuff up. So I need to make another piece of flat bar someday. I didn't, because I Didn't have enough material, I don't know, whatever reason I stopped. And I didn't notice until today that I really never finished that project, so I will. When I'm not using the chain fall, I run it in close to the lift and I drop the chains and stuff. There's a bracket that motor bolts to that I slide it down behind and it keeps everything out of the way. Look at the lifts for a minute. This is the America's Pride. Again, physically bigger. The column goes all the way up, uninterrupted. 10,000 pound rated. It's asymmetrical and it puts the car a long ways back on the left, and we're at the front fender gap. And all that hanging out the back, and the car's completely comfortable. Doesn't want to fall off. The forward, also 10,000 pound rated. Also asymmetrical, but not to the extent as the America's Pride, if that makes any sense. When you pocket the arms, the front one's shorter, but they fold like this. The America's Pride, they both go backwards because the front one's really short. For outside operations, I love the forks on my tractor, and I have some piece of box tubing that extend the forks if I need to lift a cab or something. Someday I'll buy real fork extensions. And I picked this up in the trade. It's a pallet stacker. It's on wheels, made to roll around a warehouse. But I leave it parked right here, and I just back my truck under it when I need to use it to load or unload, mostly transmissions. So that's it for today. I can hear the school bus coming. I gotta run and catch it. I actually don't at this point. My son gets off the bus and checks the mail and brings it down the driveway to me, so it'd be nice just to go out and say hi. So I hope you have a great evening, and I'll talk to you in a couple days, and thanks for the suggestion for this video.